Hello. When you hop on, say hi. Hi, Sue. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. I'm going to give it another minute or so. I didn't go nowhere. I'm still here. I'm looking for something. Okay, we're going to get started. It's 8:01. Okay. Hi, Denise. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera down and we're going to get started. We're going to be using the Sunflower 3D Embossing Folder. And this is actually the second live that I did on this folder. So I'm going to show you what I did before, and then I'm going to show you what I created today. On my first video, I showed you these cards, and what I did was I took a whole piece, cut it at 4 1/8 by 3, because this is a 6 by 8 1/4. The embossing folder is 8 1/2, I think. Yeah, 8 1/2, and I cut my paper 8 1/4. That way, I didn't have that edge here, which I have on this one. But anyway, and then I cut it at 4 1/8 down the center, and then 3 this way. No, wrong. I cut it 3 4 1/8 to get these here. Okay. And then I have these I showed you too. Then I also did this. This is fresh freesia, just going over the folder. This one here is showing you the markers. This one is the markers. And this one is the pencil crayon, watercolor pencils. And then this one here is blends. Yep. And that went over in the black. Okay. So for today, I'm going to show you these here. This is Secret C. This is gray granite. I just ran it through the embossing folder, I went over my with my white ink pad, okay, and just use circles and the hello from butterfly, beautiful butterflies, and then I just did them. This is actually cloud clover in the markers. The Secret Sea was too dark, I thought. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how that was done. I'm going to show you what I did here, and I'm going to show you how I did it. This is Night of Navy. Okay, so I have one here all ready to go. Your white pad is a craft, so it's a little juicier, and it slides differently on the paper. This is Night of Navy, and what I'm going to do is just lightly go over the paper. If you go if you press too hard, you'll get the image. I want to get that leaf there, but that's how you would get that image. Now here I pressed harder because you see the dark blue in between the flowers. You see the white here. Okay, but that's all you do to that. And their craft ink does take a little longer to dry. So this is actually 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to put that on the front of basic white, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and we scored that at 4 1/4. I'm sorry, I used a 4 1/4 by 11, and that's scored at 5 1/2. It's what I had cut. I don't like the way that is. And this, I have the, oh wait, I gotta get my Night of Navy. I thought I had that. No, it was inside. No, okay, let me punch a 2-inch circle. This is 1 7/8 circle. And this is a 2-inch circle. Okay, and we're just going to glue that. And then we're going to pop that up with dimensionals. I'm going to get my paper here so I can write down my names. This is Friday 8/1. And it's going to be my drawing for my birthday week, which I extended it to date. And every time you come and see me on the live, you share, you like. If you order, if you're not working with the demonstrator, your name goes in. So you could have your name in 3, 4, 5 times, depending on how often you're here. That is going to go right here in the corner. And the butterfly is going to go at the top with a dimensional. Like so. And there you have the first card. They were easy, easy, easy. Okay. The next one is 4 1/4 by 11. You're going to score that at 5 1/2. This is using the Designer Series paper, Floral Impressions, okay, and basic white and garden green cardstock and vellum. And what you're going to do, this is 4 by 5 1/4. Yes, I do too, Denise, and yes, it's very easy. Thank you, Rosie. 5 1/4 by 4, 3 3/4 by 5. That's going to get laid right there. This is the card we're going to be doing. I'm going to change it up a little. I'm going to put green here, I think. On the other side, it's green. So you can see. Okay. I might put a piece there, I'm not sure, to break up the flower. But this here, this one, and this one is embossing, vellum, just glued to the top of the white. That makes it look like it's right on the card itself. Okay. These are cut 1 inch by 4. And what I did was I just ran a piece of vellum through the folder and it comes out like this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's very detailed, okay? You have to be careful because it will tear your vellum. See? It will tear them. So you have to be careful when you cut because you can still use that. And these are 3/4 by 4 inch. And then I just had a piece of strip of basic white and I stamped hello there. And that is from Blooming Phrases. And then I did cut a flower. Just had it. Oh, here. And it was on the edge of the paper. And I'm going to use that. 2 leaves I cut out right out of the paper here. So we're going to get started. 4 1/4 by 11. This is actually the thick basic white cardstock. I don't normally use that for my cards. I know a lot of people do. I usually just use the basic white. But I pulled this pack out, so I'm using it. Okay, and then this is going to go right on top here, which we can lay down a while. Like so. And for this one, now we're going to do our vellum. And then our paper. I recommend you get your silicone mat. You're going to put a little glue on here. Don't need much. I have a dauber just for my glue, okay? You're going to turn it over to the reverse side and you're going to daub the glue on the vellum. And that's how it's going to get glued on your paper. That way you will not see any glue marks. It's going to go down to the edge, and I have this cut bigger. I'll trim it when I'm get it all together. Because I cut this at 4 and it's 3 3/4. It's supposed to be all these. Then you're going to take one of your uh, designer series paper. That's going to get butted right up to the edge of your vellum. And then another piece of vellum. And this one is tore, so I'm going to be careful. Once it's down, it will be okay. That's going to get right up to the edge, to the DSP. Like so. And this piece I'm going to turn over to green. And we'll see how that looks. Okay. And then next is the vellum. And this is the last one. It's going to go right up to the edge. And then this piece here, you're going to have to cut off because it's going to be too wide. I went ahead and just cut to high, so I had to write, enough, I should say, instead of trying to figure out what size it would be. Okay. Get my scissors, and I'm just cutting the right along the edge of the card itself to cut off the ones that are overflowing. And then we're going to do this one. So the one's going to be a little thinner than the other ones. Get these out. They have glue on. When this dries, you'll be able to rub that right off, and it will not be on. Okay. So before we put this down, I have hello there. That's going to go right underneath that, like so. The flower will go here along the edge because that's how I cut it. So what I'm going to do, glue this down. And I have that right up against the green. And I cut that off. Okay. Then I'm going to glue this on the front. I got glue here. Glue this on the front. Like so. And get dimensional for this. That's going to go right on the edge of that paper there. Right over the green. And then these leaves get glued down. And since I use dimensionals, I can slide them right under. And there's card number 2. Okay. Now, I did not cut extra paper. You could put a piece of that designer series paper on the inside, but I did not do that. But you could. Okay, now the next one, I'm going to be making two. I do not have a card made of them. I just did vellum. This is all vellum. And this one's all vellum. Okay. This one is using the markers. Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Darling Ducking. Darling Duckling? Yeah, Darling Duckling. Okay. Say that 3 times. And this is Granny Apple Green. I did it on this side, turned it over, took my black ink pad, Memento black ink pad, and went over it. And that's how I got that effect. Excuse me. Okay. This one here was using daubers on this side. This is crushed curry, pumpkin pie, and there's a little bit of pecan pie in there. Okay. And old olive. But you turn it over, run it over in black, and you get that effect. Okay. And if you don't know what I mean, I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn this over to the negative side, I guess. And I'm just going to bring in Strawberry Slush. And I am going to, you just color in each of the flower petals. Okay. And you go around. And you do this to the whole flower. I don't worry about getting out of lines. The black will take care of that. But you want to try to get close to the lines itself, unless you like the white showing through. And being that this is vellum, it takes a little while to dry, so you want to be careful. Okay. Then you take your, I'm going to do the Darling Duckling, and I'm just going to go over the center. I think I used, I don't know, I think I might have used a different color, but that's okay. And then I'm going to grab pecan pie, and I'm just going to brush just a couple spots here and there. And then I would do each flower and the leaf, turn it over, okay? And then I'm going to take my Memento black, and you're going to just rub over. And that's how you get that effect. Okay. You could do this first, run it through the emboss, the black. You could do this, and then turn it over and color if you wanted. But I will tell you, the black takes a while to dry, unless you use your heat gun. But that's how I got those. Okay. Don't mind my fingers. My granddaughter painted them today. They're pink. And the fingernail polish is old, and it came right off. I don't think I had them on 10 minutes. I had the painted for 10 minutes. Okay. For this one, I chose Strawberry Slush as my card base. 8.5 by 5.5. Hi, Shirley. I miss going into Canopals. We used to go up there Labor Day weekend and camped all weekend. My friend and his wife. But they both passed, so I don't get to go anymore. So, okay. Strawberry Slush. And it's 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to score that at 4.25. Again, bring in your silicone mat. Put a little glue down. And just tap it so that it sticks. You want to try to get it in the corners. Okay. And we're going to put that right on the front. And it brings in that strawberry slush between where the black did not get. Then I have a piece that is 4 by 5.25. That's going to go on the inside. And again, I have these left over when I cut for the last card. You could lay that in there. If you wanted to, you could take your ink pad and go over it. I'm not going to do that right now because it's wet. It'll be too wet. So I'm just going to put it inside so that I know to do that. I got strawberry slush and 2-inch, 1 7/8. I'm going to get my hello stamp, my Memento Black. And I'm stamping that at the bottom. I got my butterfly, and that's in Darling Duckling. And I fussy cut it out. I think there's a die to it. I just didn't look. I just went ahead and fussy cut. That's one thing. If you buy the stamp set and didn't want the die cut, you can fussy cut. Okay? That's going to get popped up again. It's going to go up here in the corner. And the butterfly is going to get a dimensional 2. And that's going to go right there. And then this one. And like I said, I just used the daubers, went around it. But I wanted more black in between, so I got a little heavier and I kept going over it. Okay, and that's how I got the dark. If you want it to be darker, take your black marker and just go in between where the flowers are not, and it would get a lot darker. That's what I did to this one here. I went ahead with my markers and colored it in to make it dark. Okay. All right. This is going to be laid on top of my old olive, and that's 5.5 by 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Same thing. Let's get our dauber here. I think I need a little more. Okay. And I'm going to put it this way. And that's going to go on there like that. Got a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4 to go inside. Okay. Bring in my old olive and basic white. Bring hello back. Stamp. We're going to glue that down. Okay. Put dimensionals. I'm going to put that right here in the center instead of, that way I don't cover my flowers. And I did him in crushed curry. Dimensional. I want to be able to see the yellow because that's what I did on the, this is in crushed curry. So, okay, that is card number 3. So let me bring them out to show you. Okay. So, excuse me. I'm going to write Shirley's name down here. Okay, that is what I have for you tonight. Like I said, this is awesome folder, and I think it is currently unavailable. I'm not sure. I know I was on and looking at different things, and I thought I seen it being unavailable, so it must be on back order. So, okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks, Rosie. I hope you enjoyed the cards. Um, this is actually the second live for this particular embossing folder. I did one once before when I first got it, but you can use it for so many different things. Hi, Myra. Thank you. Let me put your name down for my drawing. Are you in the U.S.? All right. Let that dry so I can take that off. All right, guys. I am gonna leave you tonight. I will be back Monday at 8 o'clock. Not sure what I'm gonna be doing yet, so I never do. I did these cards this morning because I didn't know what I was gonna do. So I'm what you call a procrastinator stamper. I wait till the last minute. All right. I am going to say good night. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy. And I will see you back here Monday at 8 o'clock. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate every one of you. Oh, thanks, Shirley. I appreciate every one of yous, and